As a child of the 70s and 80s, big hair was a thing. It was a thing for a long time, I think. And unfortunately, I can get my hair started there, but it won't stay. By the end of the video, we will be deflated, and it's just a little depressing. It's a little depressing. But, you know, today, at least I can work with some of the bright colors. So hello, and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is all the llamas. It has all the llamas. It also has one of our old Sip Spies. They're all old now because Sip Spy no longer exists. It has the worldwide Botanicals organic Rooibos Masala chai tea. This says sustainably sourced, expertly selected. There's no ingredients on this tea. It does have directions. Oh, I was supposed to shake the envelope? I didn't shake the envelope. Anyway, there's no, we don't know what's in it. I suppose Rooibos, chai, masala, I don't know. Doesn't say on here, and I don't have the card anymore. This is that old. However, it smells beautiful. So let's go ahead and give it a sip and see how we like it. That's actually pretty nice. But I'm interested, as you know, I'm doing a get ready with me from the title. You know, I'm getting ready to do a reading. And there's a very slight hint of bitterness on the very end of the sip. So I'm interested to see if that bitterness is going to get much deeper at the end of the next video that I'm doing. We'll see. Anyway, so today we are doing this look with actually collection. It's you have to buy the palette separately. The magnetic palette for it separately, but with a collection from MBA Cosmetics. I've been wanting to try their actual eyeshadows for some time now. So you all know that I have some other stuff of theirs that I do like. I believe it is their primer base that I really enjoy. And I got a lipstick that I tried in a previous video that I actually rather enjoyed, and I really wanted to give these a try. And these are perfect Jen Jones colors, 70s, 60s, and 70s. We saw colors like this, nice and bright and beautiful. They are shimmery shades. I'm just going to grab a few here so you can get, oh, that green didn't come up very well. But here's the shades. I opened this package. Oh, those last two were nice. I opened this package for in a private video for those on domytriesthis, but I was always intending to go ahead and give them a try here. Kind of holds up. We will discuss holding up in a little bit. Doesn't take long for me to get there. At any rate, so this is the look. I will say the inner corners are falling apart. Y'all know I don't hold that against anybody, but this is our look real quick. We're going to show you again at the end, right? And if you're interested in this look, if you're interested in hearing how well MBA Cosmetics shades did, then just keep on watching. So I do have a plan for this palette. Lately I've been trying to come on and make sure I have a plan so I'm not sitting there hemming and hawing most of the time. I am going to try to use these without the sponge tips, but just in case I brought one out, we'll see. I might try it on the inner corner. We are definitely not going to try to use glitter glue. These do not seem to need that from the looks of them, but we'll find out. We'll find out. All right, so I am going to start with this color up here, this light orange, and we're going to put that under our brow. And I'm not going to put in the second color the way I usually do. We're just going to put this under our brow, and we're going to move from the bottom up. I may need to do more. Oh, she just needs a little building. That is concerning for the colors I want to do on the inner corners. So this set was on sale. Perfect timing, because Pride Month. Those are definitely Pride colors, right? All right, I am going to go ahead and get this wet, but we're going to try this instead of my sponge tip. No glitter glue. I'm gonna see how this works. It would help if you actually hit the brush, Tommy. Okay, so my next thing is I'm gonna put this on the inner corner, this across the lid, and this in my outer corner. This is gonna go in my crease, or do the point, and this is gonna be my crease color. So, just so you know where we're going. They're all kind of in a row. All right, so, well, the brush is picking it up beautifully. Whether or not it applies beautifully might be a different story. I'm going to get another mirror, something I can have closer to my face. I know I don't have you guys pulled in. I should have had you guys pulled in. I was just anxious to get started. Huh. She is light. She's very light. Okay. All right. Like I said, brought this out just in case. Let's see what happens when we apply it with a slightly damp sponge tip. And let's go ahead and pull y'all just a little closer. Closer. All right. So I got my sponge tip wet. Pick up some of this. This is a beautiful yellow. She's a beautiful yellow. Okay, sponge tip. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the sponge tip, slightly dampened, definitely helped. This sponge tip is not very wet. I would say it is a little less wet than what I normally do. That definitely brought that color out a bit more. All right. I'm hoping I don't have to use a sponge tip for everything. But that definitely helps that inner corner. Okay. So we'll have to keep out the brush just to see if it'll be easy to repair later. So we're going to go to that green, that limey green. Oh, that's not picking up on this brush at all. That's a dry brush. We now have a wet brush. Let's see if that does it. Oh, I am not seeing much come up at all. Okay then. Yeah, we're going to have to use sponge tips all the way. Well, that's disappointing. I guess that shouldn't be too surprising. I mean, they are kind of shimmery colors, which do better with sponge tips and fingertips rather than brushes, although some companies do have some really amazing shimmers that come up with a brush. Nomad, who has, they're getting ready to do another launch, folks. Okay, so she is a light color to begin with. So something like that, you're really going to have to go ahead and go with the sponge tip because it is such a light color to begin with. Yeah. Alright, we aren't even going to try with the other one. We're going to try when we do the crease and stuff like that. Those colors can go ahead and be a little lighter. But we want these brights to really show up on our eye, right? So I'm getting that more aqua green, blue green, putting it on a sponge tip. On the other side of the sponge tip, and Hmm. Grab some more of that lighter green and go across the edge a bit. Blending, blending, blending. Mixing, they mix well. They mix pretty well. They mix pretty well. They just don't seem to work very well with brushes, and that is somewhat disappointing. Quite a bit disappointing. Okay. I'm going to use this and see if we can pick up some of this blue. This blue does not need to go dark. So we would like it a little darker than that, my man. I'm going to about the yellow. My yellow stopped. On this end, it seems to be working out really well if I pick it up on the end. Gonna blend that out like that. The blue also seems to be not mixing as much with this orange, which I don't mind. I do want it to actually be blue and not brown. Okay, so I did that with a dry brush. That actually came out okay. I'm not terribly unhappy with that. I'm glad that came out. I'm glad that one came out. I'm kind of disappointed that I had to use the thing across the lid, but I'm not unhappy with that. So I'm going to try this corner brush. I don't think this is going to work. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to have to get a different color I have other shades of purple I can use, or even deep blue that I can use that are more brush friendly. Well, we're getting some purple up. Wonder why these two are working so much better than these lighter colors. I mean, it's not coming in deep, but it's there. You can see it. Again, not going too far down. I'm going to move out. A little bit. Do a little bit under. Right in there. Okay. And I'm going to grab something I didn't grab, probably should have grabbed, because you know, we need these kinds of things. And we are going to buff all of this out to try to blend it a bit, see if it blends, the edges blend. I'm losing the blue, I may have to put more blue in. Okay, so this buffer is probably too big. I have a few of those. Get this more narrow buffer. It's not really a buffer, but I use it for a buffer. Just to blend out that purple a little bit. And then I'm going to grab a bit more of that blue because we definitely lost some of it. Because these two are done dry, I think they're allowing the bright colors on my lid to shine a little bit. And now the purple's like dead. This is a little aggravating. A little bit. We're just gonna add just a little bit in the crease. Not go too far out. Just enough to get that line in there that I like to have, right? And we're going to flick a bit, try to brush out that edge a bit. I have some thinking to do. But while I'm thinking, I'm going to go finish the rest of my face, and then we'll, you know, do the whole thing that we normally do, and I'll come back and talk about it. I don't know. We'll have to see how this right here works. So, although, as I've said before, I don't hold that against brands, so we'll have to see if it repairs, though. Repairing is definitely a big thing. Anyway, so I'm going to go and finish my face, and like I said, we'll come back and talk about it. Yeah. Alrighty, so let's give you a close-up of this look. We may be falling apart on the inner corners. We will discuss that. I'm not going to take the time to discuss that right now. Yes, there was an issue. We will discuss that in a minute, but here's a close-up of the look. I only used the one palette. I did deepen things up with the purple. I did a little bit with the blue. I really didn't do much other than, you know, applying some corrective colors. So let's talk about this. I have to say, well, let's just say they're not absolutely horrible. The shades went on. I had to use a sponge tip. That's fine. Most shimmers and most companies' shimmers require a sponge tip to go on. That's not really a major issue. I did find them a little more difficult to work with in terms of getting the bright, shiny color. I would have been just happy with it being brighter even if the shine didn't come out. Although we much prefer shiny around here. We all know that. I'm dragon. I collect the shiny shit. But these just sort of fell flat. Now these are an older collection of theirs, 1 or 2 years old at least, I think. More than likely, they've updated their formula since then. I'm not positive about that. Personally, I would hope that they have, because they worked, but to me, they were relatively mediocre, okay? They're not going to be on a favorites list anytime soon. The colors are pretty. I love the shine. I do love the way they feel relatively soft. We're going to do more of these colors. We're going to try to get this green to cooperate, because this green did not want to cooperate. Some of the colors work better than the others. Obviously, the blue is working really well. I'm really surprised at how well the yellow does, but again, the green is just, that light green and this pink over here are just problematic. But at any rate, I picked them up because they're bright, beautiful colors, and I do like that, but they don't encourage me to purchase more from MBA. I'm glad I got them on sale. I think I got them like pretty close to 50% off. Not quite 50% off, but pretty close to 50% off. Almost 50% off. It was fairly close to that, and then I had to get this separate. So I think these were about 20 to 24, give or take, and then this was separate. Had these been the full price, I would not have purchased them, and I would not purchase from them full price again at this point. They remind me a lot of, they have a better feel to them. Let me get this straight. They have a better feel to them. They definitely have a much better shine to them, but they remind me a lot of ColourPop in terms of performance. And now ColourPop isn't bad. I've enjoyed quite a bit from Color. I have an entire drawer full of ColourPop, but ColourPop's price point is less than MBA's, and I understand that. ColourPop has their own, I believe they have their own warehouse, they have their own storage place, they have their own chemists and mixers and all of that stuff. This is an indie brand that doesn't have all the resources of ColourPop, so they're going to have to, their pricing is going to be higher. That is to be expected. However, the ColourPop quality for this price, I won't purchase again. I might try a newer palette on another sale at another time, just to see if indeed things have improved since these particular shades came out. And I'll have the whole, these actually came out in a specific collection, and I'll have that collection listed below. But I would not repurchase these at this point. I would not. You see a little bit of blue, but everything else is wiped out. It doesn't stay. They don't have the stick-to-itiveness that I kind of hope that most of my shades have. I want to see some staining on my arm when I go over it with a wet wipe. And we've all seen me do that and have several. What are you doing? Oh, she's chasing something. And we've seen me have that with a lot of the brands that I really enjoy. Nomad, Cosmic, Violet Voss. A lot of them will leave staining behind. And this one was just a little bit on the blue, and everything else just went boop, gone. The repairability is there, but it can't be done with a brush, which is what I prefer. I much prefer being able to just take a brush and fixing it, maybe tapping in and picking up a little extra to repair any holes. No, with this, I had to use a sponge tip. At the point I'm at, it could be a dry sponge tip, but it still had to be a sponge tip or possibly my finger to repair. And that definitely drops MBA down on the list of palette brands that I would purchase. And I just really want my colors to be easy to apply, easy to work with, and I felt that these were just a little bit harder to work with, a little harder to apply, and a little harder to repair the way I like to repair. So, all that said, like I said earlier, I will be looking for stuff in that's a little newer, maybe on another sale, and see if their quality has improved, if their formula has changed, and we can see if they're worth buying now or in the future versus 1 or 2 years ago, whenever these came out. I'm not quite sure when these came out. Anyway, so you'll have to let me know down below if you're interested in MBA cosmetics, if you found any of the releases that we've discussed on It's New. If any of those have interested you at all, I would love to hear it down below. Or if you don't want to do that, just give me a purple heart, or give me a rainbow of hearts. It's Pride Month. Show some pride. I'd love to see it. We'd really love to see it. Anyway, that is it for the day, and I hope you've liked what you've seen and that you will go ahead and subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and like and share the videos to help us out around here. Our views have been way down again for some reason, so we would really love to see more of, you giving us a little bit of help around here. And like I said, if you're going to comment, I'd love to hear if you're interested in this brand. I would love to hear if you've had a better experience with the brand. And otherwise, give me a nice rainbow of hearts down below to celebrate Pride. And in the meantime, we're going to sip our tea and get on out of here. It's still really hot. I like the taste of this. That bitterness is rising a little bit. Just a little bit. But it is not yet horrible. This is giving me almost, not quite, a chocolate feel. Almost. It's right on that border. Maybe a slightly coffee-ish feel. That would work better with the bitterness, because most chocolates I eat are fairly sweet. So it's kind of a chocolate, maybe coffee-ish kind of echo in the drink. Anyway, hard to explain some of these. At any rate, I love my girls. I love my dragonettes. I hope you have a good one.